Hey everyone. Morning Spew. Just when you think that society can't suck any worse, humans do something to prove that they are just. Let me back up a little bit. In the joke religion, the cult of the subgenius, there is a joke that is sadly proving to be very true. That there are two kinds of humans. There are the run-of-the-mill masses you can't trust who would push you off a lifeboat even if there was room. And then there are people that actually have Yeti DNA, and because the Yeti DNA from a alien experiment long ago, they're actually capable of morality and superior thought. Now, this is a joke about how religions make the whole in-group, out-group thing, right? But the core of it, the idea that there's a lot of people that you can't trust, the older I get, the more that proves true. I'm not even talking about, you think I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the wars going on in Ukraine, Gaza, Iran, and Israel. I'm not talking about the dubious leadership we have happening in New York, where someone who's basically advocated economic policies that will completely destroy the city looks like he's going to be the Democratic candidate just because people hate Trump that much. Oh no. I'm talking about something more personal. Something that ever since I've had two little girls, I'm always afraid of. Yesterday in France, somebody on social media to, I guess, thumb their nose at feminism, encourage people to go out and fill people full of rape drugs with syringes, specifically women at these various music concerts that were happening around the country. And it worked. 150 people were attacked. Many injected with unknown substances. Initial reports weren't sure what they had. Now some are coming back. The majority of them were things like profilobal, that thing you put into the, it's commonly called the date rape drug. Things like that. Targets are all women. So I don't hear anybody say the United States has a rape culture anymore, because this happened in France. Now, me being the evil referee of role-playing games that I can be, my first question was, how could this be worse? And the first answer that came to mind, and this should frighten you because it could be this easy, what if instead of drugs it had been HIV? Think about how easy that would be to do. What if instead of drugs it had been Ebola? Think about how easy that would be to do. Find a victim, take their blood, sample it, put it in syringes, pack it, hand it out amongst people in a city willing to do this, and watch what happens. Right? I have no words for the amount of disgust I have for this, the loathing, what I hope the French do to the people they caught doing this. I have nightmares now about people attacking my kids, particularly when they're older and they start dating, start looking for mates. I have nightmares about the kind of men my daughters will have to select from because of trends I see in male society. We desperately need something like the Victorian male back. Those ethics from the Victorian era. I mean, the Victorians have their own problems, but something like that constraint of male aggression the Victorian era practiced. We need that civility back. Now, of course, the answer always says is, well, just turn to God. Yet, guess what? I guarantee you when they start looking through these people, most of the guys that did this, either have radical religious leanings to Islam or Catholicism, because we're talking about France. You see a lot of blowback right now against women having any power, any independence, that supposedly the liberation of women is responsible for all the faults of society. No. Technology is. It's our tech we're having to deal with. But people want to blame other people. And that's an age-old thing, as old as humankind. I'm about to finish People of the Wolf. I'm in the last chapters of it. And in People of the Wolf, they have a very nasty race war going on between these two Neolithic tribes, which just 10 generations prior were the same tribe. And now there can be no peace, and they're killing each other off in primitive Neolithic warfare, but it's effective. One of the most grueling scenes was one where this village is taken. The last warrior remaining fighting to defend his people is captured, and his opponents roast him alive in front of all the women, and then proceed to rape the women in front of him so he can watch them in his dying moments as he's asphyxiating from the fire and the smoke. That sounds horrific, but that's nothing new in human experience, is it? We have a vast capacity for evil. And if we don't call it out, if we don't guard against it, it will win. That's as truth as old as time. What I see happening right now with social media is the safeguards that we always used to have. Think of the consequences. Think of your family. Think of society. Think of the ethics of this. Are all quickly disappearing for the instant gratification of getting back at the bad guy. Whatever the bad guy is defined as. That's horrific. So yeah, I'm bummed out. I fear with what we have done, with the lack of a consensus about ethics that we now have in our modern age, we're going to see a lot more of this. It's going to destroy our trust in one another. It will. I see the civil religion fraying at every moment. The common bond we used to share as Americans is just disappearing. Not even Americans, it's humanity. What does it take? What has to go through your head to think that injecting somebody else who's done you no wrong with a drug is excusable, is proper retaliation, is a proper protest against whatever? You're a villain at that point, and you always will be. I might be a little sensitive to this because of what's going on right now in the world and encounters I've had in the past week. If you've not read my posts on social media, then let me quickly sum them up. I had a very, very negative encounter with an anti-Semite at the bar. And I had the next day a very trying encounter with a racist. I don't wear my Magen David or my kippah much anymore. That's not because I'm afraid to. It's just because religiously I'm in a weird place right now. I'm what I call mostly Jewish. But some aspects of the religion still comfort me. So I bought sudras. I can't really bring my talit and my tefillin to work just because the process, the process of strapping up tefillin and talit to pray is cumbersome. If I have to take a call in the middle of that, or if I have to tend someone, it'll get remarked upon, right? Whereas I can quickly throw a sudra over my head as a sort of talit and get stuff done and start praying, and it's okay, right? But apparently when I don't have anything on me that obviously marks me as being a member of the tribe. People assume that because I'm white and I have a lack of an accent, as some people have called it, that I must be a racist. That's why the anti-Semite opened up to me and started going off about how Israel's controlling the world, how the little hat people are making us fight their wars. That's how the racist I had at the racetrack in the morning opened up, said, I can't wait till all these legals out here. ISIS here, it's going to be a bad day for people. I'm just like, what the fuck, man? And both these guys were stereotypically the kind of person that the media would label as being a racist. White, middle-aged, down on the luck, looks like they haven't done much in life, that kind of thing, right? I worry that what's going to happen with all this hatred we have floating around right now, and the easy way social media makes you not think of the consequences, is we're going to see far more occurrences of such violence as what's happened in France, that one of them might occur to my kids. I had a rare compliment today on my parenting. I was at Kiersey's appointment with her therapist, because both my kids have therapy. With Alessi, it's the speech thing. We're constantly working on trying to get her to speak more, which is happening, but nowhere near as fast as is going to be helpful for the state education system. So that means I'm going to have to either get tutors or have to deal with that, which I'm trying to think about. With Kiersey, it was a muscle issue. Kiersey, being born early, her muscles weren't formed correct, and she had this thing where the whole left side of her body would tense up, either from a nerve signal or a muscle not working correctly. So we've been going to physical therapy to help work that out, to get those muscles working. And that's had a lot more progress than what we see going on with Alessi, because it's neuromuscular rather than cognitive, right? So I'm at Kiersey's therapy today, and the woman and the man who are working with her are just smitten with my child. They really are. At part of the lesson, Kiersey realizes she can't see Daddy. She stops what she's doing, she turns around, sees me, and crawls over to me and climbs up me because I'm laying on the floor to cuddle with Daddy because she wants Daddy. And the female woman, that's good redundancy, James. Coffee's not kicking in yet. The female therapist that was working with her went, I see a lot of parents come through every day, and I have never seen any children that have such a bond with their father as I see with you and your kids. That was the highlight of my day. Because the rest of my day sucked. Not just from eating racists, but from real problems like money. But when I heard that, as much as it pleased me to hear that, something went off my head of, I don't think I really do above and beyond the bar of being a dad. Right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm half-assing it or putting in the minimum effort, but I don't think I'm like super dad. So if the attendant thinks that she has never seen a bond as close between child and father as what she sees with me and my kids, what does that say about the state of how most fathers in our culture right now are raising their children? What does that say? Should that not worry me? And yes, it does. Because that's the kind of lack of parenting and involvement that produces things like people going out and pricking people with needles at a concert who've done them no wrong. And how are we going to fix it? I don't know. Because all the things I've heard to fix it historically have not. Well, let's turn to religion. You mean like the jihadis want us to, or those soft Christian theocrats want us to? The same people who have committed pogroms in the past and helped encourage racism and slavery and putting women barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen? The same people who for the longest time didn't believe in science? Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like that's going to solve things. Well, we just need a certain philosophy or political party. You mean like the guys who, with Pol Pot, killed almost all their country especially the people that knew stuff. Philosophy's not made us better people. Religion's not made us better people. Arts and culture have not made us better people. The only thing I think that makes us better people is better people spending time with people. And that is what I see technology destroying right now. And it's not technology's problem. It's a human problem. It takes effort and will from the individual to spend time with somebody they do not like or who has offended them. It takes a certain amount of grace to let things flow by and maintain someone's presence in your life, right? And yes, believe me, I fully understand there comes a point where sometimes it just becomes too much and you have to walk away because the person that has offended you has just done so deeply you can't be around them. Sometimes you do have to cut line. I get that. But if we don't have more people spending more time talking to more people about the world, philosophy, and religion, then what's going to happen is we have a lot of people assuming the false things they think about the world and other people are true and act on them accordingly. And look where that got us. And that's all I have for you tonight. Signing out.